video, I'm going to be talking about how to set up your trading dashboard. So when you sign up for a brokerage account and you're ready to start trading, how do you set up your charts, your order entry, your level 1 and your level 2 data? And if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. I'm gonna walk you through it right now. Here we go. All right, you guys, so when you first log into Questrade, what you're gonna see is basically a blank black screen, and this is going to be your dashboard. Now, on the top, you're gonna have a bunch of different options and symbols that you can click on, but first I wanna focus your attention on the bottom. On the bottom, you have a couple of different tabs. Now, it works the exact same way as an Excel sheet or a Google Docs, whatever it is. You can pull up different tabs and it will basically reset your dashboard to whatever you had going. So when you get started, you're gonna have a blank dashboard that looks like this. I'm gonna create a new one right now and I'm gonna rename it to demo video right now. So this is what we're gonna use for this exercise right now. But if you mess yours up or yours doesn't look right or you just get tired of it and you wanna refresh, all you have to do is go down there, open a new tab, set a name for it. It's super easy to do, and you can set up different tabs down there. So I have a tab for my watch list. So when I'm going through and I'm looking at 30 different stocks, this is the tab that I use. When I'm gonna hyper focus on another stock, this is the tab that I use. So that's how I set that up just internally. Now, how you wanna set this up is a dashboard that works best for you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk through the different options that you need to know about. I'm gonna give you my tips and tricks along the way, and then you need to set it up for whatever works best for you. So starting on the top left, this is account. This is probably the most important screen that you have. This is going to give you the summary of your account at the moment. As you can see, I have $1,200 in market value in this account right now. I'm doing a small account challenge where we turn $1,000 into $1 million. So if you wanna see that, check out my other videos. But right now I got $1,200 in this account. My open positions would be displayed here, and my open profit and loss would be displayed right here. Now, super important because you need to know what your exposure is at any given moment, and then your closed profit and loss is right here. So this is your closed trades, whether you're up or you're down. Now, this does not take into account commission. Commission is not displayed in these numbers, so you need to keep that in mind. So you can go to your orders, positions, executions. If I go to my last 5 days, you can see all of the orders that I've made and then the balances at the back. I usually leave it on the summary page so I can see my open profit and loss and my closed profit and loss, but I usually keep this as a small little tab just so I can see those numbers. Now, something I want to point out here, super important, 2 things. So this little paperclip link window here, it has a bunch of different colors to it. What you're going to want to do is set that to green. What is gonna happen here is every window you open up is gonna have that button on there, and if you set it to green in every single window, they're all gonna be linked together. If you set them all to different colors, they're all gonna be basically uncoordinated and not linked together. I'm gonna show you why that's important here in a minute, but I am gonna move this down to the bottom of my screen for right now. So the next thing that I want to show you is level 1. Now level 1 is basically all the information you can find on Yahoo Finance. It gives you the dividend yield, the price, the bid, the ask, and mine gives me real-time information. Now with Questrade IQ Edge, I have a link in the description below that will give you $50 in free commission, so definitely check that out. But with the free and basic version, it will give you 15-minute delayed information with spot checks, meaning if you click a button, it will give you the real-time price quote, but it won't give you any information in between there. So it's not great for day trading. You can buy a $20 data package that will give you real-time data for $20, but it will not give you level 2 data. So let's jump into level 2. Level 1 is basically the bid, ask, the current price, all the basic info you can almost get on Yahoo Finance, but level 2 is a little bit more in depth. So I'm going to pull up level 2 right now. It's not going to work for us, but basically the idea here is level 2 will show you how many orders are stacked up at different price levels. So if Apple is at $100 right now, it will show you how many people are willing to buy at 99, 98, 97, 96, 95, and will show you how many people are willing to sell at 101, 102, 103, 104. So what it does is it helps you determine when Apple trades and it comes to an inflection point, is that stock going to break through or is it going to fall back down? Level 2 can help you determine that a little bit earlier than some of the indicators. So that is why people use level 2. I'm going to close this off for right now because we don't really need it. The third option here is options. So if you like to trade options and you like to just click on your option, get in and out, this is a good option for you. I personally like to trade my options by using the chart, so I don't use this very much. I will show you that a little bit later on though. order entry, this is probably the window that you need to get the most familiar with, and it is the most important. This is how you place your order. So if we're going to buy Apple stock, this is where you enter the stock you want to buy. You're going to buy it for 100 units. You are going to place a market order that's good for the day, or let's say you want to place a stop order at $105. So if it's currently at $100, you want to buy it at 105. This is how you would get into it. Your route, I always leave this at auto. I don't really understand it, so I just let it do its thing. And then your account, you need to make sure you're trading with the right account. So I have a TFSA and a margin. I'm going to be trading in my margin account, and this is a really cool little tip here. This is what I do on all my trades. I click this little button here and it lets me enter a bracket order. What a bracket order is it gives you your entry point, which we just placed at 105, but it allows you to take profit at X amount and enter a stop loss at X amount as well. So let's enter that right now. So if we're in at 105, let's say we want a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. So I would get out at 115 and I would stop loss at 100. So this is one instance of how you could get in and out of a stock with a take profit and a stop loss all in one trade, so you're not paying multiple commissions. So really great opportunity here. Nice way to do it. I'm gonna leave this open and I'm gonna move it down here, and we are also going to set it to green. Notice that these are now both linked to green. It's a very, very important feature, and make sure that you're trading on the exact same thing. So the next thing here is probably the most important. This is the chart, or maybe not the most important, but the thing you're gonna use most often. So I'm just gonna rearrange this here, and I'm gonna put this, gonna move this over a little bit. I'm gonna put that up there, and then I'm gonna move the chart here and a little bit wider. So when you set up your chart, it will have a couple of presets on it. One is it's always going to show you volume. You can move this down and you can shrink this by moving this. And if you want to see a longer time frame, all you have to do is move the bar on the bottom and it will stretch out your time frame for you. Really nice. If you want to change the stock, let's say you want to look at Microsoft instead of Apple, all you have to do is change the ticker right here and you are all set. Now the key here is I just changed the ticker on my chart, but my order entry is still set for Apple. So the reason that we are setting everything to green is so that everything stays linked up. So I'm gonna set my chart now to green, and as you can see, it reverts back to Apple. The idea here is that you don't want to be looking at one chart and then make a trade on a different stock because you were basically had the tickers wrong. So by linking everything to green here, it makes sure that your order entry as well as your stock chart are looking at the exact same thing. Super, super important and crucial piece here to make sure that you are trading the right piece. So that is the first thing I want to point out. Second thing is a couple of settings. If you right click and you go down to settings, a couple of things that I would suggest are to adjust your margin. I adjust mine to 15. What it does is it gives you space around the top, bottom, and the side so that you have a little bit more room to draw your trend lines, draw your price lines, and figure out where the stock is going to go. So I recommend putting in your margins right here. You can also choose to show or hide your pre-market data right here as well. So lots of different opportunities there. I would set that as your default, and then you can change all your labels, fonts, colors, whatever you want. You can really play with it. There's not a whole lot there, but the buffer around the edge is something that really helps me. After that, on the top left, you've got your stock, and then you've got your time frame. So if you want to look at it at 6 months, 1 day time frame, you just click on that. If you want to look at it at a 10-year, 1 week time frame, super easy. You just click on it like that. So after that, the thing that you might want to do is add in some studies. So for me, I like to add in the RSI. I also like to add in, where is it? Oscillators, the MACD with histogram. And I also like to add in the moving average. So these are some of the indicators that I use. As you can see, it's a little bit tough to actually see them. So when I want to look at them, I will expand them like this. I will open them up and I will actually expand them onto my chart and then shrink everything back down so that price is the main focus. So as you can see here, super important. Now, when I type in Microsoft, my order is going to change. So I type in here, you can see the chart has changed to Microsoft, but so has my order entry. So now I can switch between stocks really simple, and I know that everything is going to be linked up. So super, super important feature here of linking your charts together. So that is the stocks. Now the last thing I want to talk about is drawing. So I added in my indicators. Now if I want to draw in a trend line, really simple. If I want to add in a price line, Really easy right here. You can see there's a little bit of support and resistance. Here we go. You can draw in all your lines, and then you can add in your Fibonacci arcs, your retracements, whatever works best for you and whatever you like to use. It's probably in here and it's probably easy to use. So that is how you set up your charts. To remove a trend line, you just right click it and click on remove. So pretty simple and pretty straightforward. You do need to play with this to add in the indicators and the lines and the systems that you like to use best. So this is one way that you could set up your system. Again, as we go back, like let's go to Square, and as you can see, everything is going to link up. My order entry is linked up, and if we pull out the level 2, we can put it right here, and we turn this to green as well. Let's say we go back to Microsoft, and now it changes everything back to Microsoft. So really easy, really nice. The big key here is make sure you have all of your different windows linked up, and that is how you can start to build your dashboard. Now, I'm going to clear this out a little bit just so we can walk through the rest of the features that are on here. So real quickly, we just did the chart. Let's go to News and Insights. If you type in Apple, this is where you would find the different stories on the different companies. Now it's Sunday afternoon, so it's not going to give me anything right now. Event calendar here is where you can find dividends, earnings. If you like to trade earnings and you trade big gaps, this is the great place for you to figure out when the dividends are being paid, when the earnings are coming out, and when the new announcements are being released from the different companies. Again, it's Sunday, so I'm not getting any information, but that's okay. Stock view. Now this is basically everything that Yahoo Finance is going to give you. Year to date, 1 year, basically all the basics of that particular stock. So if you're a long-term investor, you just want a quick look at it, it's definitely a good spot for you. Market view is going to give you the entire market. So as you can see right now, we are looking at the TSX. We had 103 stocks up and 104 down on Friday. You can change to different indices and you can basically go through anything you want. So this is the Dow Jones 20 and 8. Pretty easy just to see how the market is doing. After that, we've got StockTwits. Now this is kind of like Twitter, but for Questrade. I haven't used it, I haven't played with it much, but I know I can share my charts in here. I haven't done any of that, and I don't really like to take other people's suggestions for what I should buy and sell. So I'm sort of in my own head when I like to do that, and I don't participate in the StockTwits, but it is there if that's something that you like. Now, the screener here is one different way that you can look for different stocks. It's really good for implied volatility. But what I like to do when I'm looking for stocks is go to market movers. I find that this is a little bit simpler to use. And for instance, I can go to the US market, look at top gainers by percentage, and it will give me all of that information. Now, unfortunately, it's Sunday, so it's not giving it to me right now. But you can go by gainers, losers, active, 52 weeks high, whatever you want to do, it will give you all of that information. So the basic screens that you want to do, this will do everything that you need for it. If you want to do something more in depth and do it based off an indicator, based off a market cap or a volume, then you may want to go into the more in-depth screener and add that in as a functionality. Now your watch list here, this is probably one of the most important things when you're just setting up. So when you click on watch list, it's going to give you this basic window right here, and it's going to give you basically all the different indices. Now I'm going to pull up a stock chart here just so you can see why linking them up is so important. So we'll link this to blue this time. We'll link this one to blue as well. And as you can see, I can now click on my watch list and I can go through and I can cycle through everything that's on my watch list. Now, these are just the indices. Obviously, you want to build your own. So you just click on new watch list and you go Zach's favorites. And then you go Apple, you add that in, you go Square, you go add Microsoft, let's add Tesla. Let's add Neo. So we've got Zach's favorites in there. And now as you see, I can again go through and click through just like this. And then when you're ready, you add another watch list. All you do is click on the tab again. I have a couple already built in here. So this is going to be my specialty watch list. So as you can see, I can go through, I can look at these and I can see how terrible Dan Bilzerian's company is. Ignite Cannabis. You should watch my video on them because they're absolutely terrible. And I'm going to come out with even more content on them, but their company sucks. And their stock chart's even worse. Look at this. It's just bottoming out at 60 cents the whole way through. Dan, your company sucks. Anyways, that's enough of my venting. So that is my watch list. That's basically how you use the watch list. I highly recommend this. And what I would recommend is create one of these basically dashboards specifically for your watch list. So that way you've got 10 different charts on your monitors. You're just banging through your different watch list and you can see everything come up. And then do another dashboard where you're focused super heavy on one stock and you see it at different time frames. That's how I set up my dashboard, and that's what I would recommend for you. So watch list, we went through that. Time and sales. Now this one's really cool. Obviously Sunday again, so there's no time and sales happening right now. But what this will do is it will show you every single transaction on a specific stock. So you link this up to green just like we had before, and when you're on Apple, it will show you every single transaction that comes through for Apple stock, and it will be green if the price went up. It will be red if the price went down. So if you have this open on your monitor and the whole thing's red, I sure hope you don't own the stock. That's basically the idea here. It is a good way to tell, is this stock flushing right now, or is this just a little dip? So good way to tell. After that, you've got your profit and loss calculator, you've got your alerts, you've got activity. So your alerts are basically, hey, these are the price levels that I wanted to be alert at. Activity is basically anytime you've logged into your account. And the profit and loss calculator is where you can input your different variables and will tell you what your break even is and how much money you're actually gonna make. So lots of different options with those ones. Inbox, go to, and research. This is basically if somebody sends you a message or if you have a couple different people trading on the same thing. Go to is basically sends you back to their website, and research is their market intelligence and intraday trader that takes you again back to a website. So not super useful for us. For us, the main thing that we want to look at is the chart, the order entry, our account, level 2 if you're actually going to use it. You may want to look at another chart that has an index on it, and basically this is what you're going to want to trade off of. We're also going to add in time and sales there, and we're going to drop that down as far as we can. So real simple. I just clicked on like 6 buttons there. I've walked through all of them for you, and this is what you could use for your trading dashboard. Really easy, real simple. You've got, now let's link all these up, real important. Let's just make sure we're all on the same page there. So now when we go to Apple, and then let's say we go to Microsoft, everything trades over. If I want to buy into Microsoft real quick, I can get in right there. So really simple to use, really easy to use. I really hope that this helped you out, or at least helped to walk you through some of the different things you may need to know in Questrade.